Sergey Brin. Net worth, $141 billion. Sergey Mikhailovich Brin was born August 21, 1973 in Moscow, Russia. When he was just 6 years old, Sergey and his family escaped Russia to save themselves from Jewish persecution. They eventually landed in Maryland, where his father was hired as a math professor at the University of Maryland. Sergey Brin is a computer scientist and internet entrepreneur who has a net worth of $141 billion, earned as the co-founder of Google with Larry Page, which today is known by umbrella parent company Alphabet. After graduating from college in May 1993, Sergey Brin entered a computer science graduate program at Stanford University. At an orientation program for new students, he met fellow student Larry Page. This would later prove to be a friendship that would forever change the landscape of World Wide Web. In September 1998, the duo incorporated Google Corp. The initial domain name was actually Google, which is a number that consists of 1 followed by 100 zeros. Google went public on August 20, 2004. Today, Google is the most powerful internet company in the world, with a monopoly in online search and duopoly, with Facebook, in online advertising. Google has several products that reach over 1 billion people per day, including Search, Maps, YouTube, and Gmail. Sergey has donated millions of dollars to support research into Parkinson's disease. Sergey's mother suffered from the affliction. He and Larry both earn a salary of just $1 per year from Alphabet. Steve Ballmer. Net worth, $152 billion. Stephen Anthony Ballmer was born on March 24, 1956 in Detroit, Michigan. His father, Frederick Henry Ballmer, served as manager for the Ford Motor Company. As an American businessman and sports team owner with a net worth of $152 billion, Steve Ballmer derives majority of his net worth from his 333.3 million shares of Microsoft stock. Shockingly, he was only hired to work at Microsoft 5 years after Gates co-founded the company with Paul Allen. When Microsoft went public in 1986, Steve Ballmer owned 8% of the company, Paul Allen 25%, and Bill Gates 45%. Steve Ballmer met Bill Gates at Harvard University in the 1970s when they were both undergraduate students. They quickly formed a friendship over their shared interests in mathematics and computing. Ballmer was studying mathematics and economics, while Gates was enrolled in the pre-law program but was more interested in computer programming. Ballmer is also known for owning the Los Angeles Clippers. He bought the time in May 2014 for $2 billion from disgraced owner Donald Sterling. Today, the Clippers are worth $4 billion. In 2000, the balance of power transitioned from Gates to Ballmer, and he became the company's new CEO. However, there were mixed reactions regarding how he managed Microsoft. While it is a fact that he tripled sales and doubled profits, many observers have argued that Ballmer missed out on big trends. He famously dismissed Apple's iPhone as a waste of time and lost billions in ill-advised acquisitions, such as Nokia, and failed products, such as the Surface. After being named the worst CEO by several publications, Steve Ballmer began to feel the pressure. In 2013, he finally retired from Microsoft. Nonetheless, over the years, he has earned $13 billion through stock sales and dividends. Starting 2024, Microsoft will pay a dividend of $3 per share. That equates to an annual dividend payment of $1 billion for Mr. Ballmer. Larry Page. Net worth $150 billion. Larry Page was born in East Lansing, Michigan on March 26, 1973. His father, Carl Victor Page Sr., has been described as a pioneer in computer science. Today, Larry Page is an American billionaire entrepreneur who has a net worth of $150 billion, a fortune earned as the co-founder of Google. He owns roughly 6% of Alphabet. With super voting shares, Larry and Sergey control 51% of the company's voting rights. Larry has sold about $10 billion worth of shares of both Alphabet and Google since the company's IPO in 2004. Despite being equal co-founders when they first launched Google, Larry Page owns slightly more of the company's shares than Sergey Brin. Reportedly, Larry owns 6.1% of Google's outstanding shares, while Sergey owns 5.7%. Today, Google company generates more than $300 billion in revenue per year. Warren Buffett. Net worth $170 billion. Warren Buffett was born on August 30, 1930 in Omaha, Nebraska. Widely regarded as the greatest investor of all time, over a career spanning more than 70 years. And with a net worth of $170 billion, Buffett transformed a failing New England textile company, Berkshire Hathaway, into a $1.1 trillion conglomerate and one of the most successful investment vehicles in history. Buffett has generated a compound annual return of 20.1%, more than double the S&P 500's 10.2% annual return over the same period. That is, $1,000 invested in Berkshire in 1965 would be worth over $45 million today, compared to about $300,000 if placed in the S&P 500. Under his leadership, Berkshire has acquired or taken major stakes in companies like Coca-Cola, American Express, Geico, BNSF Railway, and Apple, and now holds large positions in Chevron, Occidental Petroleum, and Bank of America. If Warren never donated a dollar to charity, his fortune today would likely be in the range of $340 to $350 billion. He has pledged to give away 99% of his fortune and has already donated over $60 billion, mostly in Berkshire Hathaway stock, to charitable foundations, including the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Despite his wealth, Buffett is famously frugal. He still lives in the same Omaha home he bought in 1958 and pays himself a modest annual salary. Bill Gates. Net worth $160 billion. William Henry Gates III was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington. The American billionaire entrepreneur, author, and philanthropist has a net worth of $160 billion. Vast majority of $160+ billion net worth comes from an extremely diverse portfolio of investments and assets that are primarily controlled by his investment vehicle, Cascade Investments. And only a small fraction is connected to the company he co-founded, Microsoft. Cascade reportedly has more than $200 billion in assets under management, which it has invested in a diverse and substantial investment portfolio. Some of its largest and most prominent investments include majority of Four Seasons Hotel and Resorts, and is the largest private owner of farmland in the United States. Bernard Arnault. Net worth $155 billion. Bernard Jean-Étienne Arnault was born on March 5, 1949, in Roubaix, France. The French billionaire entrepreneur has a net worth of $155 billion, a fortune earned as the chairman and chief executive of the world's largest luxury goods company, LVMH. On December 13, 2022, Bernard Arnault overtook Elon Musk to become the richest person on the planet. In the 1980s, Arnault bought Christian Dior out of bankruptcy. He then used the profits and increased valuation of Dior to put together a conglomerate of luxury brands, notably Louis Vuitton, Moet, Hennessy, hence LVMH, Marc Jacobs, Givenchy, Tag Heuer, Bulgari, and Tiffany & Co. Today, LVMH is home to around 60 brands and generates $70 billion in revenue per year with a market cap of $384 billion. Outside of LVMH, Bernard personally owns 2 wineries in France, Princess Yachts, 5% of Carrefour, the largest supermarket chain in France, and a multi-billion-dollar art collection that includes pieces by Picasso and Warhol. Larry Ellison. Net worth $174 billion. Lawrence Joseph Ellison was born on August 17, 1944 in New York City, United States. Larry Ellison earned his enormous fortune of $174 billion as the founder of software giant Oracle. He owns around 42% of Oracle, earning him around $12 billion from Oracle stock sales and dividends since 2003. He also owns roughly 1.5% of Tesla, having spent around $1 billion to acquire 3 million shares of the company. His 3 million shares became 15 million after the company did a 5-to-1 stock split in August 2020. Those 15 million shares were once worth as much as $13 billion, but on average $10 billion. To date, Larry has donated at least $400 million of his personal wealth to various charities. He has also signed the Giving Pledge. Mark Zuckerberg. Net worth $170 billion. Mark Elliott Zuckerberg was born in White Plains, New York, on May 14, 1984. In middle school, Zuckerberg began using computers and writing software. His father taught him basic programming in the 1990s. Mark Zuckerberg is an American technology entrepreneur and philanthropist who has a net worth of $170 billion, majority of which is attributable to his shares in Facebook. Mark became a billionaire on paper for the first time in 2007 when Facebook raised $240 million from Microsoft at a $15 billion valuation. The company's previous valuation was $525 million. On the day of Facebook's IPO in 2012, Mark's stake was worth $15 billion. Mark Zuckerberg's net worth topped $100 billion for the first time on August 7, 2020. On February 2, 2024, with Facebook's stock hitting an all-time high, Mark's net worth hit $170 billion. Mark owns 400 million shares of Facebook. Just like Eric Schmidt, Larry Page, and Sergey Brin, Mark Zuckerberg's salary is also $1 per year. Many executives choose to pay themselves low salaries in order to increase the company's profits as much as possible. When the company maximizes profits, it increases the overall value of their stock holdings, which is where the executive's true wealth comes from. Mark has pledged to give away 99% of his wealth during his lifetime. Jeff Bezos. Net worth $190 billion. Jeff Bezos was born on January 12, 1964, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He is an American philanthropist, businessman, and space explorer who has a net worth of $190 billion, earned as the founder of Amazon.com. He was the richest person in the world without interruption between October 2017 and January 2021. He regained the title of the richest person in the world in March 2024 when he surpassed Elon Musk in terms of overall net worth. Jeff owns 55 million shares of Amazon, roughly 12% of the total shares outstanding. At his peak, he owned 80 million shares of Amazon. As part of his April 2019 divorce settlement with Mackenzie Bezos, Jeff transferred 19.7 million shares to his ex-wife. The value of the shares at the time of the transfer was $36 billion. The settlement temporarily reduced Jeff's net worth from $150 billion to $114 billion. Jeff was also an early pre-IPO investor in Google.com and owns at least $1 billion worth of shares in what is now known as Alphabet Incorporated. In 2000, Bezos founded Blue Origin, a human spaceflight startup company, partially as a result of his fascination with space travel. Blue Origin includes an early interest in developing space hotels, amusement parks, colonies, and small cities for 2 million or 3 million people orbiting the Earth. In the 20 years since Amazon went public, Bezos has sold at least $70 billion worth of his shares. He sells roughly $1 billion worth of shares every year as part of a planned stock sale arrangement. Elon Musk. Net worth $294 billion. Elon Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa, on June 28, 1971. Musk bought his first computer at 10 and taught himself how to program. The South African-born Canadian-American businessman, inventor, and investor has a net worth of $294 billion. He's currently the richest person in the world. In November 2021, when his net worth briefly topped $340 billion, Elon surpassed John D. Rockefeller for the first time to become the richest person in modern history. From January 2021 through March 2024, Elon was the richest person, before his net worth soared to $348 billion in November 2024, breaking his own record for the richest person of all time. The vast majority of Elon Musk's net worth comes from his 13% equity stake in Tesla, approximately 412 million shares. He also owns 304 million exercisable options in Tesla. Combined, that equates to roughly 21% of the company. Elon has pledged 58% of his Tesla shares as collateral against $3.5 billion worth of personal loans, and in 2022, he sold $40 billion worth of Tesla shares to fund his purchase of Twitter. Elon is also the co-founder of SpaceX and The Boring Company and is the chairman of Solar City. Elon owns 43% of the privately held SpaceX. SpaceX was valued at $180 billion at its last valuation round. As of its last valuation round, The Boring Company is reportedly worth $5 billion. It took a year for Tesla to cross the first $100 billion level. 2 years later, in December 2020, Tesla's market cap crossed the maximum $600 billion level. 1 year later, it topped out at $1.23 trillion. At that level, Elon's net worth hit $340 billion.